The last part of circle section, we're going to work with general form of equation of a circle. So now let's look at what is called a general form of equation of a circle. Equation of a circle is write into this kind of form. Okay, x squared plus y squared plus ax plus by plus c equal to 0. So let's recall the standard form of circle, right, as what? X minus h squared, right, plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Is that right? HK, that's center of the circle, r is the radius. So standard form actually write as a perfect square, and then the constant term move to the right hand side. But the general form is open up this perfect square, right? And then combine all the constant term into one, right? And all the terms is on the left hand side of equation, right hand side of equation equal to 0. So this kind of form is called a general form of equation of a circle. So if given you general form of equation of a circle and ask you to graph, how can we do that? We don't know the center of the circle, and then we cannot tell what is the radius of circle either, right, from the equation itself. So we need to rewrite the general form into standard form. All right, so now let's look at an example. Graphing a circle whose equation is in general form. So when we get a general form, and then we need to first group things together, okay? Like x term, x squared plus 4x, we want to, put these two together, and then plus y squared minus 6y, and then put these two together, and then move the constant term to the right hand side. Okay, that's equals negative 12. So you may wonder why I leave some of the space here, because in order to make this become a perfect square, we need to add a constant term to make a trinomial, right? Do you remember we talk about, completing perfect square when we study solving quadratic equations? So here we have the same idea, okay? We want to add some kind of constant here and here, okay, in order to make the equation, or in order to make this trinomial become a perfect square trinomial. So now how to find what kind of constant we need to add it here. Remember, completing perfect squares, the x first power coefficient actually is twice, okay, of that constant. So the perfect square actually is x plus 2, right? If you generate, that's x squared plus 4x plus 4, right? So in other words, here, 2 squared need to go here. We need to add a 4 on left hand side of equation in order to make this trinomial, so that we can write as x plus 2 whole thing squared. Okay, and then we need to do the same thing for the y term. So here must be y, right? And then we take the y first power coefficient, negative 6, divided by 2, and then that's the constant need to be here. So it's minus 3. Negative 6 divided by 2 equals negative 3. And then this is the perfect square we would like to put, okay? And then y minus 3 squared, actually, if you open up the parentheses, we can write as y squared minus 6y plus 9, right? So the constant term we want to add it here is negative 3 squared. So we get a 9 here. Okay, it's negative 3, square it. We put a 9. And then left hand side, we add a 4, add a 9, in order to keep equation still equivalent. So the right hand side, we also need to add a 4, add a 9, right? 4 is make x term become a perfect square, and then add a constant 9 is for the y term become a perfect square. And then right hand side, now we can combine all the constant term that equals positive 1. So once you write in standard form, and then we can easily identify the center of the circle and the radius of the circle, right? So h equals -2. Remember minus negative here, right? And then k equals positive 3, r equals 1. So the center of the circle is -2, positive 3, radius equals 1. So that's how we rewrite circle equation from general form to standard form. Okay, utilize completing perfect square skills to do that. So once we got the center of the circle, radius of the circle, and then we can do the graph. Okay, that's the same thing we did last time. So first, set up rectangular coordinate system, x-axis, y-axis, and then the origin 0, 0. And then plot the center of the circle, -2, 3. So from the origin, left 2 units, and then go up 3 units. Okay, so here is the center of the circle with coordinates -2, 3. And then, again, I'm going to suggest you put a horizontal dashed line and a vertical dashed line passing through center of the circle so that we can find most left point on the circle, most right point on the circle, and then most up and then most bottom on the circle. Okay. So here we know the y coordinates must be 3, right? And then x coordinates -2. The radius is 1. So here should be -1, 3, right? This point coordinates is -1, 3. And then left hand side one, the positive 3, y coordinates remain the same. X coordinate is -2 minus 1. That's how we got a -3 here. And then similarly for the most top points, this time x coordinates need to remain the same as the center of the circle, and then y coordinates +1 minus 1, right? Because radius is 1. So here is a 4, here is 2. And then from the graph, we can easily see this circle doesn't intercept with x-axis and the y-axis. So there are no additional key points we can graph. So graph this circle, we only use the center of the circle and the 4 key points, and then we can use the smooth curve to connect those 4 key points to graph the circle. And of course, we can use the graphing utility, which is graphic calculator to graph a circle. But the problem is, graphing calculator, when we define the y, it must be a function. Okay, circle is not a function, but half of the circle is a function. Okay, so that's the reason why if you want to enter the equation for the function, okay, in order to graph a circle, in other words, we have to break it to the half circle plot and another half circle. So we have to put a y1 and a y2. And then we have to solve for the y. So for this case, we have circle equation x squared plus y squared equals 4. So in order to solve for the y, we subtract x squared on both sides of the equation. So we got a y squared equals 4 minus x squared, and then square root both sides of the equation. We have y equals plus or minus square root 4 minus x squared. So y1, we need to put positive square root of 4 minus x squared, and then y2, we need to put a negative square root of 4 minus x squared. And then we plot both y1 and y2 on the calculator screen, and then we got the circle. Okay, because that's plotting 2 different functions. Okay, so one have a blue color, the top circle have a blue color, and then the bottom half circle with the red color. All right, so that is the whole section about the circle we finished today.